If you invest in the land will invest in you. And so this video is going to be talking about the investments that we need to make, not just in the land, but in ourselves, and really about the law of reciprocation as a whole. Now, many of us don't think of maybe giving to the land or giving to our animal relatives as an investment in ourselves. But here's how I look at it. I had this revelation some time ago where our ancestors highly revered animals, highly revered plants, were dressed like the animals, had stories about the animals. Deities looked like animals. And that is because everything that you invest in, you get money in that. Any energy that you invest into something, you get a return in that. So these animals are just like humans. These plants are just like humans. They carry a certain type of energy that they can possibly feed you. Just as if I was to walk into a party, if I was to walk into a room, all right, and I had a certain presence and a certain energy about me. Maybe I was the very happy, very smiley, very go-lucky person in the room. It can brighten that dark environment. Or we all know people who have the opposite effect, where they come into the group, they come into the room, they come to the party or the reunion, and they are known for having and display this kind of darker, heavier energy where it's like, ooh, oh, this guy's here again. You know, auntie this and uncle this are here again. You get the chills. You know, it's a very heavy, dark, a very heavy energy. Okay, the same thing in every animal that you can come across. Okay, the same thing in every stone. The same thing in every plant. Everything has its own unique energy that it is giving off to you. And wherever you invest that energy of yours, or whoever you invest it to, or whatever you invest it into, whatever career you want to invest it into, it will give you a certain return back. It will give you that energy that it possesses back. That is why people love stones and crystals, because each one is its own type of being, and each one has its own frequency, its own resonance, its own essence of who it is. So having it on you, having it around you, gives you, feeds you this type of energy. Now, the earth is calling for us to feed it energy in the form of attention, in the form of restoration, you know, in the form of nutrients and things that we feed the ground. Okay? The animals are asking for that energy back in the form of respect, in the form of communication, in the form of just cooperation. Okay? In the form of coexistence, being able to coexist in the same field. Everybody respects their boundaries. If you didn't know, and I just found this out and I still think it's funny, if you see a hole in the ground, chances are it's a home, but it's not a home to just one person, the groundhog, the ants, the squirrel, the whatever, the snake, the frog, whatever it might be. It's home to potentially all of them. And I remember this diagram where in that same hole, you have the snake living here. You have the mice living across from it, you know, but a little angled so they're not too close, but they're in that same hole. You have the owl at the very bottom that's burrowing down into the soil. And so you have these things that can potentially, it's so funny, you have these things that can potentially and do end up eating each other at some point in time, or eating somebody like them at some point in time. But you have this form of coexistence and respect for each other. And that is what the animals are calling for us That is what the animals want from us. Like I said, our ancestors revered them in very, high regards. We make art about them. We have stories about them. We dress up like them. We have festivals about them. Okay? There's this form of respect, and each animal has its own energy that it would feed back to those giving that respect, to those dressing up like it, dancing, having art inspired by it, these types of things. You're getting a certain energy back. For me, in our household, we have a large portrait of an elephant. Okay, elephants represent lots of things, but elephants are very big energy beings. They turn heads. Okay, the elephant in the room, they will turn heads. They are very powerful. They're a very powerful presence. That energy is very powerful. Okay, so that is energy that I like to keep in my home. Okay, and just sitting with it. You will be fed it. Just being there, you will be fed it. Another example is one time, and this is where the revelation came in. This one time I was anxious in my thoughts and was rushing myself and rushing things. I had some worry in my head and worry in my heart. I had some doubt in me. And I was around a body of water that had turtles. And I was meditating and I was observing the turtles and I was reflecting on all of it. And I was thinking, wow, what it must be to live like a turtle. Moving and knowing that the present is the only moment. I move at my own pace. I don't let things rush me. Slow and steady wins the race. These types of virtues, these types of, this type of wisdom coming from that animal. The way that it portrays life, the way that it moves through life. You can learn through animals that way, viewing them in that sense. You can observe them, see how they move through life, and then you can take these lessons on. So I wanted that life of a turtle. I wanted that energy of a turtle in certain aspects of my life. So what did I do? Naturally, he saw me pull out an orange, so then he was walking up to me, so I fed them. And when I fed them, I started to have more revelations, more thoughts, more downloads, more things happening shortly after. And that was the energy that it was giving back to me. So we can exchange that energy and receive something back depending on what animal we are doing it to. If you want more creativity in your life, if you want more control over your thoughts, you want more creativity coming in, that's the birds. Maybe feed some birds. Maybe have some bird houses, build some, put them up. Bird feeders, build some, put them up your house, put them up around your house. Feed that bird energy. If you want to be more up here, you're an entrepreneur, you want more ideas coming in, you want to see things from a bird's eye view, you want to be able to zoom out on things. Feed that bird energy. Okay, there are many, many, many examples. All right, so what are some animals? Put this down in the comments. What are some animals, or what are some plants? You see the rose growing through the concrete. You see this growing through the concrete, right? You see the thorns, but it's a beautiful flower. Like, you see these different types of plants out there that can teach you certain things. What are some animals? Comment down below. What are some plants that you can learn from, that are present in your life, or that you have learned from? I want you to put that down in the comments below. Okay, thank you for tuning into this video. Thank you for tuning into this channel. My name is Joseph Octaviani. This is Life the Plant Way. And on this channel, we talk about, a spectrum of things within the holistic health space, whether it be herbal healing, fasting, things like that, or we talk about things in the spiritual space, like something I spoke about today. Okay, the laws of the universe. This is the law of reciprocation. Give something and something will come back. Okay, invest in something and you'll get some type of return on your investment. All right, so if you haven't already, subscribe, comment down below to that question, and I will see you on the next video.